Hey friends, Aaron here with Superior Singing, and I want to talk about pitch perfect, about your pitch, how to have great pitch when you sing, because you and I both know if you don't have great pitch, almost nothing else matters. It doesn't matter how much power you have or how well you can do vocal runs or whatever. If you're not on pitch, it's going to be cringy and people aren't going to want to listen to it, right? Right. So how do you become pitch perfect? I remember when I was 17 years old, I was in a traveling singing choral group. We would dance and we would sing, and all of us would sing and do dances, and then we'd step up to the mic and do these solos. And there was a coveted solo that everybody wanted. And, one day the music producer came to me and was like, I want you to do this tonight. And, it's a duet that you do with somebody else. And I was practicing it. I was super excited. And there was a note that I couldn't really hit, but I just thought if I just belt it out, I should be fine. I'll be able to hit this note. And got there, packed house, producers are in the back, and I'm singing, and my singing's okay at this point. It's not great, but it's good enough to pass. It's good enough to have made it into this singing group and all that stuff, and it was not good enough for this moment. So the moment comes, and I go to sing this note and I try to squawk it out. My pitch is just all over the place. It sounded more like a duck squawking than hitting the right note. So I learned the hard way, and the looks on people's faces, especially the look on the music producer's face in the back. He did not give me that solo ever again, ever again. So I paid the price. So you want your pitch to be on, right? It's just nice when somebody's on pitch. And I know there's all kinds of vocal processors and, pitch, all that stuff if you're recording an album. But a lot of people want to sing live, and you want to be able to sing well, even on your own records if you're at that level too. So let's talk about pitch. Really, basically, I'm sure you know this, but pitch is like if the note is and you sing right, then you're on pitch. But if it's you're like or if you're just below the pitch, it just doesn't sound like it. So that's basic. I'm sure you already know that. One of the best things to do to make sure that you have good pitch is simply doing warm-ups. I'm going to give a handful of things that we can do to help with your pitch. One is just warm-ups, doing regular warm-ups, and whatever it is. I have a bunch of warm-ups on you can just check out my YouTube videos here, but just basic like lip rolls, tongue trills, stuff like that. Or I like mums, so I go mum 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 mum. I do these every day in my car. Mum 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 mum. Anyway, if you do 3 to 5 minutes of warm-ups, that is going to affect your pitch. Another thing, of course, is breath support. It's kind of boring to hear about and to talk about singing and breath support, but really, your breathing is everything. I remember one of my vocal coaches used to say, the top 3 most important things in singing are air, air, and air, right? Sometimes you'll go off pitch if you're singing a note or a long run or something. It's like, and you kind of start running out of breath. It's harder when you don't have enough airflow and the consistency of airflow without the force of that air coming out. A lot of times that can make you really pitchy. And one thing you can do with that is when you do your voice exercises, do long runs, meaning if I'm doing, say, an octave exercise like I was doing the mums, I'll do like this. I'll go mum 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 mum. See, notice what I did is I did 3 octave runs, but all in one breath, because I want to stretch that breath out, and that's gonna strengthen my lungs. That's gonna strengthen my voice. It's gonna strengthen my ability to keep a consistent airflow over a long period of time. And then the other thing with airflow is posture. Posture is just a really simple way to help if you're playing guitar and you're hunched over, you're like blocking up your lungs. And so have nice posture that's just gonna help you get the air you need and get the proper amount of air in your lungs. And obviously a big part of that is singing from your diaphragm. You've heard me talk about that I've got whole videos on diaphragm singing. But if you're singing from here, from your throat, it's just not going to sound that good. And it's going to be more pitchy because it's not supported. You've heard this term supported. What that means is when you're singing, if it's supported, the difference between Mary had a little lamb, girl, it's all here, there's no support, it's pretty weak and thin. And if you get right down here, all that diaphragm. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. That's where the support comes from. And when you have that support of the full diaphragm, that's just going to allow the air to come through more consistently in a fuller way that's going to allow you to stay on pitch better. Now, if you've done all that other stuff that I'm talking about, but you're still really pitchy, it could just be a matter of training your ear to hear when you're hitting the right note. And one way you could do that is if you play an instrument, that's just like pitch matching exercises. And so you can like pluck a string on guitar or you hit a key on piano and then try and match it. Hit it and try and match it. Hit it again, try and match it. And hit another note, try to match it. Hit another note and try to match it. Hearing it and matching it. But if you can record yourself, either just audio or video or whatever, and then listen back, then sometimes when you're singing, you can't always tell if you're matching the pitch exactly, but when you listen back, you're like, oh yeah, that I wasn't hitting that note, and you can work that. Listen, time and patience and consistent practice. I know that's not necessarily what you want to hear, but to be successful in anything in life, it takes time and it takes patience and it takes consistency. But if you want to sing, the good news is this. You can become a great singer because your voice is made up of muscles. You can build these muscles in the right way. What I'm talking about, there's the airflow and all the stuff and all the different exercises for like warm-ups and all the advanced exercises. All this stuff builds the voice and you can create a voice and become a great singer. That's the good part. The good news is that it's possible. You don't have to be born with a great voice. That maybe not so good news that you don't necessarily want to hear is that it just takes time for everybody. I just told you that story of where I just squawked and embarrassed myself in front of all those people. I'd been singing for several years at that point. I was good enough that I got accepted into this, group that was touring all over the U.S. and I wasn't quite there. It takes time, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But if you really love it, you'll take the time to do it, right? Thanks for watching, and I am doing a lot more videos now, so make sure to hit the notification bell. We just hit 600,000 subscribers. We're very excited about that, so make sure you subscribe. Our next goal is 1 million subscribers. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out my video on how to sing better in 5 minutes. You can see what I look like with hair, and that video's just got millions and millions of views. And it'll also give you a good exercise to warm up your voice and do some of the things we're talking about here. Best of luck with your pitch. Check out that video I'm talking about here, and I'll see you next time.